every story has a beginning and an end, and the beginning for Call of Duty Zombies is Nacht Der Untoten. Releasing back in World at War on November 11th, 2008, this is the first zombie map we have ever seen. And the way it was introduced to us is very different than current zombie games. You didn't get it just on the disc. Back then you had to complete the campaign and then it would play our first ever intro cutscene to a zombies map, and then it put us right in the middle of it. It's also important to remember that there's not really any context to this as well. Players of Call of Duty back then really didn't expect anything like a zombies mode to make its way into the franchise. And speaking of that, how did Nacht Der Untoten get into the franchise and create the zombies game mode? Well, it's a lot simpler than you'd think, but the events that took place would change Call of Duty forever and bring in a brand new player base. Zombies originally wasn't a planned game mode for World at War. What actually happened was a team of developers were secretly working on the game mode behind closed doors, with a lot of them even putting in 11 to 14 hour days at work to work on the zombie game mode. Treyarch Studio head Mark Lamia at the time almost called off the game mode as well. He was concerned that the zombie game mode idea wouldn't really work with the Call of Duty formula, but after giving it a try, he was absolutely hooked. He even said in a statement in an interview that if he was to cancel it, that would have been one of the biggest mistakes of my career. And he's not wrong. He could have said no and we would have never gotten COD Zombies. And that would have been one of the saddest things if we knew about the idea of a zombies game mode in the first place. It really makes you think of all the secret things maybe we haven't gotten to experience because of a developer, Activision not wanting it in their game. It's a real shame as well. But luckily, Zombies wasn't one of them shames and it managed to make its way into the game, in the form of Nacht Der Untoten. Now, it's no surprise that Nacht Der Untoten is a very bare bones map. And this is with good reason obviously. It is the first zombie map. It is the foundation of everything yet to come in the game mode. So when we review it, we can't be too hard on it for not being super innovative. Because if you put this map against something like Der Eisendrache or Mob of the Dead, obviously Nacht isn't going to win because again, it was one of them stepping stones that allowed us to get to great maps like Mob or Der Eisendrache. So that's why when we're reviewing this map, we are going to look at it as its own entity. We won't be taking into account anything that was come after Nacht, we're just going to be looking at it as it is as of right now. And then after that, we will talk about it compared to other maps, and does it hold up in the year 2021. With that said, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any of these videos in the future, as we're going to be going through every COD zombie map by every developer and giving it a solid review. But now back to Nacht Der Untoten. When a player is first to spawn into the map, you are going to have your M1911. You'll find zombies coming through the barriers all around the map trying to get to you. You'll realize that your pistol is weak, it is not strong, it's not going to hold off the zombie hordes for very long. This is when the player is going to realize, wait a minute, there are weapons on the wall I can buy that do significantly more damage than my poo-poo pistol. And as you're exploring that first room you spawned into, you're going to realize you can buy doors as well. And that is what you're going to do. You're going to buy your doors and make your way to the other parts of the map. A keen player will then notice the mystery box, and when they go up to it and interact with it, it will give you a random weapon. These can be either the wall weapons you've seen already, or it could possibly be a ray gun, our first wonder weapon. This is going to cost you $9.50 in all the Treyarch games, but this originally started off with Nacht Der Untoten. I think what is brought to the player's eye when hitting the mystery box is going to be that ray gun. You're going to see the weapons rotating through the box when you purchase it, and you might just see that little glimpse, and that is going to get you curious. This is because we've never seen something like the ray gun in a COD game before. It's a wonder weapon. It's supposed to be really different and completely overpowered. That is why a player would hit the box constantly trying to get it, because they know the more points they make from killing the zombies, the more they can hit the box, and then they can eventually get rewarded with the best weapon on the map. It's also important to remember that during these times, training wasn't such a popular strategy. Players didn't know really how to optimize the game to make it really easy, so what a lot of players would do was just sit in a corner and spam their weapons. One of these famous camping spots would be up top of Nacht Der Untoten beside the stairs. Players knew that if they bought that door beside the stairs, then the strategy wouldn't work. So that is why they'd always opt to go through the help door, so that the zombies would all come from one way only. Players would go in these spots and use LMGs, the ray gun if they could find it or not, and other weapons as well to defend off the zombies for as long as they can. As basic as that sounds, that was enough to draw in the player base and get people wanting more. And as basic as Nacht was, there was many things you could actually do in it. You could shoot the barrels outside the actual base to set off the music Easter egg and play the first song in Call of Duty Zombies. Players that even explore the map somewhat more will find out that there is actually hidden weapons on the map, and this is going to be the Kar 98 scoped. One of the few sniper wall buys we have in COD Zombies actually appear in the first map. This Kar isn't really a great weapon, but it definitely is unique. Nacht Der Untoten's story as well is a very basic concept. A plane crashes with the element 115 that reanimates the dead, and 4 basic soldiers have to defend themselves off for as long as they can. Whilst being so basic, it adds in an eerie atmosphere into the map. This is because we feel like we are trapped here and there is no way out until we eventually die. Along with just the overall atmosphere and color scheme of Nacht Der Untoten, so dark and grey and gritty, we feel like we're stuck here, and that makes you want to fight even more. Even if there is no escape, you don't want to go down for a fight. You have the bare essentials to defend off the zombies. Grab a Tommy gun, grab a Trent's gun, get a ray gun from the mystery box. You and your friends want to survive the zombie onslaught for as long as you can, and there's no way in hell you are going down without a fight. It's a pleasant surprise to say as well that World at War graphics actually hold up pretty well today as well. If you're playing on PC with max settings, it's going to look super crisp. And I know graphics aren't the most important thing in a game, let alone a COD game, but it's nice to see that a game from so many years ago still looks really good. Whilst also being the first zombie map, the engine and just the overall feel of the game as well is not bad. It feels quite snappy in some places, I would say as well, and while them adding in zombies for the first time, I think players are definitely pretty impressed with the outcome. Treyarch managed to set up a lot of stuff for future iterations of the zombie mode with this. They added in the mystery box, drops, music Easter eggs, what weapons, everything the zombie game mode needed to get that first initial push to become one of the greatest game modes in the COD franchise. Some arguing a lot better than the multiplayer itself. So back in the early days of World at War, there was not much wrong with Nacht because it didn't have a lot there. Yet it added so much to the zombie game mode that the zombie game mode wouldn't be what it is without Nacht Der Untoten. The only negative you could say about Nacht is that again it was a bit bare bones, but you could only really say that if you're comparing it to future zombie maps, which is what we're going to be doing now. Because we want to see if Nacht Der Untoten holds up in the year 2021, or should you just not play if you haven't already, or should you even just go back to it and give it a try? It's fair to say that Nacht is fairly recognized even today, with it being added in to Black Ops Cold War Zombies as part of the new map The Machina. We also see a remake of it in Black Ops 1 with the Resurrection DLC pack that you get Moon with and the 4 original World at War maps remastered. We see it in Black Ops 2 in Transit as a little side Easter egg. Then we see it in Black Ops 3 as the center point for Revelations, and then we see it in Zombie Chronicles as a faithful remaster with them adding in brand new mechanics like the Gobblegum Machine and the Wonder Fizz. We also see the perk Mule Kick appear in the map as well in the Black Ops 1 version and also the Black Ops 3 version. So it's fair to say that Nacht has had a lot of influence even in the future titles. But is it worth you going back to the original Nacht and giving it a try? Well, that really depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for the basic fundamentals of a zombie game mode to survive? If you're looking for long Easter egg quests with amazing boss fights, I clearly can't recommend Nacht Der Untoten to you because it doesn't have that. The good thing about Nacht Der Untoten is that it's so basic that newer players or even older players that want something a bit more simpler can go back and just mindlessly kill zombies. What's good about the World at War version of Nacht Der Untoten as well is that the zombies react a little bit differently to how they do in the current day. When training in Nacht Der Untoten, they'll actually stop and then hit you. So the game is actually a lot easier than future game iterations like Black Ops 1 all the way through to Black Ops Cold War. So if you're a new player, this is a very good first map to play if you're really wanting to learn the foundation of COD Zombies. So I can recommend this to anyone that just wants a simple zombie experience. That is exactly what you're going to get with Nacht Der Untoten, and there's just something about World at War that makes it feel so classical and just so nostalgic. Obviously with future maps, it can't compete in terms of content. There's so much more redefining factors in these newer maps like Origins, Mob of the Dead, Rise and Drekka, any Black Ops 3 map, any Black Ops 2 map to be honest as well, maybe except Transit. That can't compete with them because it's the bare bones starter of zombies. But if you are looking for that simple experience, I definitely recommend going back to Nacht Der Untoten. If I was to rate Nacht Der Untoten from 1 to 10 in the year 2021, what would I give it? I'm going to give it a humbled 6 because it deserves that for what it is right now, but again we have to remember that it was the foundation of zombies, so if that was being really critical I would have to give it like a 3 or 2 because there's not really a lot there, but since it is the foundation of zombies I feel like it has to get a little push to be around that 5 or 6 mark. Again, I would recommend anyone new to the franchise to go play it at least once so you can get an understanding of what started off the game mode. And if you are a player that have played the game before, I would recommend going back to Nacht Der Untoten just for a simple playthrough if you're looking for some nostalgia, or if you're looking to get back into the game mode after not playing it for a while. That's the end of the Nacht Der Untoten review. If you guys did enjoy it, remember to leave a like and also leave a comment below if you would like me to continue this series. Subscribe also if you want to see that continuation, and thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed making this video and I am excited to continue this little series and give my input to the zombie maps in the zombie game mode. But that said guys, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.